Finally, let's get into it. Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time list. I want to say I don't know all these artists. I don't know all the music on here, and I'm not going to pretend to. I'm not going to sugarcoat things and pretend like I know all these artists that are here, like Miles Davis and Radiohead and The Clash and Carole King. I don't know, right? I know a lot of these people are legends, but I haven't really listened to their music like that. I probably heard songs here and there, but full-on albums, I haven't listened to. That's not to say that all I know is hip-hop on this list, because there is some stuff here and there that I know that's outside of hip-hop, from jazz to rock to R&B to whatever else, country. But I'm mainly going to focus on hip-hop. And we're going to go over the list. So the first hip-hop is Astroworld, number 98, Travis Scott. I disagree with this, and pretty easy to say why. I don't think Travis Scott is really that great of an artist, but people like him, whatever. Number 98, he's there. I disagree with that. Usher, Confessions. I had an issue with this positioning. Number 95 is utterly disgusting, considering that album probably influenced and shaped R&B for the next 20 years when it came out. Shame, and here Jermaine Dupri echoed this. Shout out to him. Shame on them. They really ranked a lot of R&B albums very low on here. And there is a statistic breakdown of what genres were on here. And R&B and soul had 11%. Hip-hop had the most, so shout out to hip-hop. Round of applause to them. 21 albums on this list were hip-hop. So 21% was hip-hop. 18% was rock. 16% was pop. And then R&B had 11%, which is not bad. But country had 1%. Motown had 2%. Jazz had 1%, 3%. So that's an interesting breakdown, but very low on the list, so I disagree with the Confessions being at number 95. Tyler, the Creator, Flower Boy being at number 92. I can see why, but nah. I mean, this is, at the end of the day, this is Apple Music's opinion. The people at Apple Music, this is what they decided, so whatever. The thing is, it's all albums too, so, you can't really just go off hip-hop here. Going down the list more. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. So this is the first old school hip hop album that we get on the list. And it's at number 84. You know what? I disagree with that. Obviously, I think if it wasn't for this album and Dr. Dre's The Chronic, those two sounds, that shaped the next 20, 30 years in hip hop with a lot of the sounds. So because of that, I think it should have been higher. But hey, 84, not too bad. Should have been 60s, I think, but that's my hip-hop thing. Now we get to number 82. 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. When this number came out, I was 82. Okay, out of 100 albums of all time, nah, I still can't see. I can't see how this album got 82. I really can't see it. We have a song called In the Club that is forever being played. Right now, it still gets 1,000 radio spins a day, which is astronomical for a song that came out in 2003. It was the most listened to song in radio history. Get Rich or Die Trying is the highest first-week sales for a hip-hop debut album of all time. Sold over 15, 16 million copies. Still relevant to this day. The Final Lap Tour did over $100 million in ticket sales. People still listen to this album. These songs still resonate. The album caters to every single side of hip-hop culture ever. Has influenced generations and generations of artists. Every artist that has come out of Get Rich or Die Trying after Get Rich or Die Trying, has used the mixtape formula to make themselves hot, which came from Get Rich or Die Trying, because 50 used the mixtapes, then had the huge success of Get Rich or Die Trying. People mimicked that formula, started using mixtapes to promote their career, then had their success on their albums. That all came from Get Rich or Die Trying, and that's just a slither of things. Not to mention the story of the album. If you just go off music, music is there. There's no argument music. Music is there. It's better than anything ever hip-hop ever released. Ever. Period. because it caters to everything. And that's the thing. Some hip-hop albums do not cater to everything. This album caters to literally everybody and everything. It even has God themes in there. It has Jesus themes in there. Like, it could be a gospel album. And the fact that the stories are real. Many Men is a song that only 50 Cent, based off his unique experience, can write, and it's real. Everything is real. This is the problem at this album being ranked this low on this list. And the music's still relevant. We are 21 years down the line. Still artists. There's literally a carbon copy 50 Cent that came out. Pop Smoke, rest in peace. A carbon copy of this guy came out. Literally a 2.0 version came out. And you mean to tell me this album got number 82? That much of an influence. The world, we're not just talking America. The world is influenced by this album. You can go anywhere on this fucking planet Earth, and they know about this album. And they know at least about, if they don't know about the album, they at least know the song in the club. Then the story attached to it. You got, the title is literally Get Rich or Die Trying. This guy lived that. There was a drug kingpin that allegedly tried to kill him. He either had to make it or he would be dead, and he went up against that person and made it out alive. What, like, you can't, Martin Scorsese can write a better fucking movie script than that. So, that alone, man, this album should have been, in my opinion, a top 10. If we're doing all-time albums, right? Of all time. Every album that ever released. I think top 10 of all time, period. Hip-hop, it's top 3. I don't give a fuck. If you don't got in the top 3, you lost your damn mind. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. So I'm not going to go in any more on that, but you guys know how I feel about that. Then you got Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP. I personally prefer the Eminem Show over this album, but Stan is used as a term to define crazy artists. Like, its influence is astronomical, and it broke insane records. And as a story only can be told by Eminem. And you got that at number 80. Man, get the fuck out of here. Because the albums that come, the hip-hop albums that come before these albums is disgusting. I just want to say that is utterly, ugh. And I'm going to go in later on that. But going down the list, you know, you got Missy Elliott. Shout out to her. A Super Duper Fly at number 75. Definitely not above 50 M or Snoop Dogg, but whatever. NWA Straight Outta Compton, number 70. I agree with that number. I think it had its impact, but definitely wasn't more impactful than Give It or Die Trying or Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP. But, hey, shout out to, actually, I mean, because NWA birthed a lot of different careers. So, but still, I just don't think the album really hasn't stood the test of time like that in terms of like daily streams and all this stuff. We got to look at like, what is it doing now? How is it still impacting now? But I like number 70. That's a good number. Going down, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, number 62. I don't know. I jump back and forth. I think it should be a top 40 album because it's Tupac, All Eyes on Me, influential. He went diamond with that. He was actually, I think, the first hip-hop artist ever to go diamond. Let me see. Okay, MC Hammer, sorry. Forgot about him. But somebody who wasn't a fucking one-hit wonder. I think it was Tupac because it was, he had a double disc, died, went diamond. So outside of MC Hammer, Tupac was like the next one. So just the impact, obviously all the records on there. I think it should be higher than 62. I think it should be in the top 50. Going down, scrolling through a lot of these other artists. Beastie Boys being up there, hell no. Paul's Boutique, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of my fucking face with this bullshit. No disrespect to Beastie Boys, but nah, man. I don't know what the fuck, why they ranked it that high. But then you got Drake Take Care over 50's Give It or Die Trying, Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP, and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, Tupac's All Eyes on Me, NWA Straight Outta Compton, Drake's Take Care over that. Bro, you can look at streams right now and see Give It or Die Trying, an album that came out in 2003, is doing more daily streams than Drake's Take Care. Is doing like 1 million more daily streams every day. So how is that album that came out more recent, meaning it should be more recent in people's memory, doing less streams than an album that came out over 21 years ago? Drake's Take Care came out, 13 years ago? Because it came out in 2011. Yeah, so 2021, about 13 years ago. But yet, Give It to Die Trying is doing more streams. That is disgusting. That pissed me off. This is what pissed me off about the list, because when you look at the albums that went ahead of a lot of these classic All Eyes on Me, Straight Outta Compton, Give It to Die Trying, Marshmallows LP, and Doggy Style, when you look at what went ahead, it's like, what the fuck? How? It makes no sense. Going down the list, Outkast, Aquemini, okay, I can respect that. Nas, Illmatic at 39. I would have put this top 25, but whatever. Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, 37. I think that's fair to me. I don't know. I think that's fair. Public Enemy takes $1 million. I don't think this should be that high up at 34, but whatever. You got Beyonce, her self-titled fucking album is higher. This is an album that, like, let me go on the streams because I know this shit ain't doing that insane numbers. This album daily does 926,000 streams. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's Give It to Die Trying does like 2.5 million streams daily. And this is a more recently released album. This is a 2013 album. They got Beyonce up there like she's like she released a fucking classic. This is what I mean. We're going to see Jay-Z so high up. Dude, they dick eat Beyonce and Jay-Z. American media, oh my God, they love them some Jay-Z and Beyonce. When in reality, people do not listen to these two artists like that. Like, they have great numbers. But come on, man. Ahead of all those people? Nah. You got Biggie, Ready to Die, number 32. High on the list. Respect that. I don't know if it's that much higher than Tupac's All Eyes on Me, but I love it. I'm not too mad at that number. Tribe Called Quest, Low Event Theory, number 29. A little too high up on the list, but whatever. Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy at number 26. I would have ranked, I understand why people rank this album really high because it's got a lot of different styles and unique sounds to it, but I like Graduation the most from Kanye. I think that should have been on this list. If I'm being frank with you, Graduation still has records that, to this day, let me actually see how many streams Graduation does. To this day, still do numbers. Like Kanye West's, I think, first like diamond fucking singles from Graduation. So you got, look at this. This is why Graduation should have been the fucking number one album on this list, or at least not number one on the list, but I mean ahead of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Is Graduation is his highest streamed album. It does 4.3 million daily streams, while My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy does 2.2 million. Graduation should have been higher. Graduation should have took the spot of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because more people love it. And I get it. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy had its unique shit, but Graduation to me is better. So I disagree with that. You got Dr. Dre's The Chronic at number 19, which I respect. That song changed sound just like Doggy Style did. Changed the whole culture. And top 20, I like that. That's good. Number 19, I'm not mad at that. This is where I get mad, though. You got Jay-Z's Blueprint at number 13. Number 13. This is an album that ranked number 13 out of all albums in the whole entire planet Earth that have ever come out. Apple Music says this is the number 13th album. Let's go see. Let's just see if people listen to this Jay-Z Blueprint album. Oh my God. Jay-Z Blueprint. Let's see. Jay-Z's Blueprint does 183,000 streams daily. What does that tell you? People don't really rock with this album like that. I don't give a fuck about the sounds. I don't care about him using multiple sounds, this and that. It's a great album. It's a classic in the hip-hop world. I'd put it probably in the top 10 in the hip-hop world if we're just going hip-hop. Yeah, it deserves to be there. Okay, I'll put it at probably number 10 and maybe number 9. But number 13 on Apple's list is astronomical dick eating by American media. Like I always said, they coddle and baby Jay-Z. This album is not more influential than Dr. Dre's The Chronic, NWA Straight Outta Compton, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, Tupac All Eyes on Me, Biggie Ready to Die, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. All these albums, it's ahead of. Apple Music lost their fuck. They're just dick. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, they are dick eating Jay-Z and Beyonce because Beyonce gets fucking 2 albums on this list, by the way. Everybody else got like 1 fucking album. Beyonce gets 2 on this bitch. Not even Michael Jackson gets 2 albums. Beyonce got 2 on this bitch. 2! Beyonce ain't that fucking good to get 2 albums? Get the fuck out of here, man. This is my proof that they dick eat Beyonce and Jay-Z. American media props them up to be these fucking greatest artists that have ever existed in life. Then going down in the top 10, we got Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City at number 7. I disagree with this. Basically, Apple Music is saying this is the greatest hip-hop album, period. Now, you could classify Lauryn Hill's album as hip-hop as well, but I guess, you could say Lauryn Hill, but if we're talking male, let's just go to male. Fuck it. This is the greatest male hip-hop album that's ever existed, ever, according to Apple. Ever. Good Kid, Mad City. It's a classic. It's a great album. It's top 10 of all time, but the ever beating every single hip-hop album that's ever existed, come on. This is dick eating. Listen, what Drake said on Family Members, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone going ham and Grammy right now. He's speaking facts because this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I love Good Kid, Mad City, man. I don't want to. Here's the thing. I don't want you guys to think I'm a hater of these guys' albums. Listen, Jay-Z's Blueprint and Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City are top 10 hip-hop albums of all time. Top 15, you could argue, of all time hip-hop albums. But ahead of all these other albums, fuck no, never in a million years. Suck my dick, never happening. Then you got Frank Ocean with Blonde at number 5. Like, that album did not do that influential shit, man. Come on, guys. Beyonce had fucking 2 albums, and y'all dick-eating Beyonce. Frank Ocean with Blonde at number 5. Then you got Prince, Purple Rain, number 4. Okay. The Beatles, Abbey Road, number 3. Okay. Michael Jackson's Thriller at number 2. And then you got Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, number 1. I love Lauryn Hill. Love that album. It's a fucking amazing album. One of the greatest albums ever. It deserves to be in this top 10 list, period. I think that. But number 1, fuck no. Michael Jackson's Thriller deserves number 1. Nobody did what Michael Jackson did ever in their history of career. Best-selling album, produced insane amount of hits that's still relevant to this day. Not to say that Lauryn Hill's album isn't relevant to this day. But let's look at the streaming numbers. I'm actually curious. Let's just see. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, guys. Maybe I'm tripping. Billie Jean is not my love. You got Thriller doing 2.6 million streams daily. Let's see what Lauryn Hill does. Let's see. She dropped 1 album and then never fucking dropped anything after that. I guess we got to praise this 1 album. She does 980,000 streams. What does that tell you? What impacted more? What had more influence day in and day out in people's lives? Like, what was the criteria in this shit? It's dumb. I think Michael Jackson should have had Thriller number 1. That's the greatest album that's ever existed. If you're going to include all genres, to me, obviously, it's Get Rich or Die Trying. That's just my opinion. But if you're going through all genres and just general public, majority of the world will agree Thriller is the greatest album of all time. And on top of that, Michael Jackson wasn't scared to drop another album. Motherfucker came back with Bad and all these other albums. Lauryn Hill dropped 1 fucking album and disappeared, and all of a sudden, it's the greatest album of all time. It's number 1 on the list and should beat everybody else. Come on. I disagree with that as well, but everything else I can't really speak to, like Nirvana and all these other Fleetwood Mac and Radiohead and Aretha Franklin, the Rolling Stones, and John Coltrane and Guns N' Roses, and I know all these guys are legends, but I can't speak to those because I don't really listen to their music like that. So, yeah, that's my gripe with it, man. Travis Scott that's horrendous. Travis Scott should not be on this list, guys. Sorry, man. Or Tyler, the Creator. No disrespect, but come on, man. You guys haven't done, like, you know how many 100 best albums of all time? Well, shout out to Apple Music for at least including mostly hip-hop. Like, 21% is hip-hop. Everything else is less than that. So, Also, this is broken down in terms of years or decades. You had 1950s, one album came from there. 1960s, 10 albums came from there. 1970s, 18 albums came from there. 1980s, 17 albums came from there. The 1990s had the most albums on the list at 23. And the 2000s had 11, 2010s had 17, and the 2020s had 3. So mainly the 1990s had the most. 2000s had a little bit low amount, but that's a surprise to me. I feel the 2000s had the best year in music, but yeah, that's kind of my takes on this fucking list. I think they disrespected the shit out of people. Putting Kendrick Lamar above everybody, period, in male hip hop, fuck no. Putting Jay-Z that high up, fuck no. Putting Drake that high up with Take Care, fuck no. Yeah, man, just disrespectful overall, but that's my take on the list. Hopefully nobody else release a list again because these lists are fucking horrendous. But you got to give them respect, man. The whole ranking 100 albums of all time in every genre is pretty hard. So, yeah.